Hello and welcome to the channel. This week we have a Phillips from about 1946 or 47. It is the 3362A and it is quite a monster, and I had to work on the floor because it didn't fit on the bench. We also have a little Bell from New Zealand, and yeah, that works quite well. So let's get into it. So here it is, and yeah, take that off. Don't need that, and we probably don't need that. I'll take that off a bit later. So this is actually in very nice condition. It's got tape on it. It's got a massive cord on it, sort of like house wiring, but it sort of lamp wire, but supersized, as it were. Now that is quite stiff. That is rubbing. Let's try and get that off. Yep. It looks like the shaft is a little bit bent. This one is the tuning. Yeah. And it has the New Zealand stations on it. Now the other one just worked. It obviously needs a recap, but as I said in the introduction, that has permeability tuning, and this one has the normal tuning gang there. Looks pretty clean inside, no rust or anything like that. This is the aerial, just a card with the tin plate on it, or whatever it is, aluminium plate. And yeah, pretty simple radio. They made many thousands of them. This one is number 88,817. Of course, there's no Arts and Peace sticker on it. That's off another radio. Yeah, let's put some power to it and we'll see what happens. Right, here we go. So we're down very low at the moment. Bring this around so you can see the globes or what have you. Now we're at about 50 volts, 80 volts, $120, around about 150, I think. Can't hear anything yet. Right. So that's about 200 volts, 180, 180. Now this was sold as working. Try putting an aerial on it. So we'll connect an aerial up to it. Okay, it is working. Doesn't sound very good though. Very healthy, I should say. So I've just brought the voltage up a little bit. That doesn't sound very healthy at all. And it's fading away. All right, let's turn it off before we do any damage to it. That sort of sounded all right, but very, very distorted, and yeah, sounds like it's got some capacitor issues. So let's open it up and we'll see what's going on in there. These were made probably around about the early 60s, late 50s, this particular model. Judging by the knobs on it and the glass. But they did make them right the way through to the early 70s, I believe. Very long-lived radio design. Okay, I'll pause it here and we'll see what we can do. Right, so this one is pretty filthy inside, although it's by far not the worst one I've seen. That makes sense. Not by far the worst I've seen. Now these were a pretty generic cabinet. Now this has got, okay, so this can here, this capacitor, is dated July 68. So this is one of the later ones. It's got the tiniest little screws holding it together. And wow, there's virtually nothing in this, as you can see. So this is house wire. Yeah, this is actually house wire. What? And the knobs unfortunately just snapped off. It's obviously been a bit wet at some stage because everything is rusty down here. Yeah, it's got a big lump of fluff on it there. So this may have been in a bedroom or something at some stage. I can also see that this is an ECH 81, and they're probably not that common over here. I'll have to see what the equivalent is and find it. This one is an EBC 81 Telefunken brand at the back here. So yep, that's an EBC 81, and this one is an EF 89. So they didn't use Australian valves, and I thought they would have used Australian valves. And this is probably a 6X4 or something. EL84. Oh, EL84. Very interesting. So what I'll do is I'll take it outside and give it a good dust off, because I'm not working on this thing. It is covered with person fluff or bedroom fluff, and I don't want to get bed bugs or anything from it. Okay, so I'll bring it back once it's clean. Now I've cleaned it up somewhat. There's still a little bit of fluff around, but yeah, I'll do that later. And I've also sprayed out the valve bases. I've reconnected it all up. I'll try and spin it around. This cord has got to go. This is far too stiff. Now, there's only 2 paper caps in here, and the cap can here, electrolytic one, has 3 caps in it. I'm not sure how to go about changing those. What I might do is do a David Tipton and drill it out and hide the caps in there, but there's plenty of room underneath for the caps to go. They can go down there or something like that. There's plenty of space in here, up there. Yep. So let's turn this on. I'll bring this right down again. Excuse my arm. Got to find somewhere else for this. And yep. So this is round about 150. Yeah, the valves beginning to glow. And we'll bring that round. Not sure whether the Kiwis call this them valves or tubes. Now that is very, very loud, and I've taken the voltage right down to probably 175 or something. Now I don't know whether this is a hot chassis or not, so I'm not going to touch it. Right. Well, that's better, but it's still not fantastic reception, although we are in here with all the equipment on. I'll turn it right down and I'll bring the voltage back up again. I don't know why it's squealing. And it's really humming quite badly, so the electrolytics in that can do need changing.
slow time, and moving up is Coccinelli. Your bad boy on the inside of Hugo.
Right. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll change these two paper caps. It also sounds like it needs a really good alignment. One of the valves could be very weak though. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll test some of the valves. I suspect the, was it EL84? Could be weak. I think that's equivalent of a 6M5. Yeah, okay. So we're back. I was wrong. It's actually a EL84, and the equivalent of that is a 6BQ5, and I don't have any of those. I do have a couple of AQ5s and a couple of 6M5s, but not the BQ5. So I'll order one of those and see if Stan's got any of them, because they are listed on our list and he has had them before, so they should be fairly easy to get. Okay, so what we'll do now is I'll just change these paper caps out and I'll be back. The two paper caps are being replaced. So let's turn it on and see it explode. Just joking. Valves are lighting up. We have a signal coming through. And here Melbourne, 3LO, just. We're not getting Bendigo at all. Where's the racing station gone then? Ah. Yes, it definitely needs some valves. Bring it up to 240 volts or 230. I'll do a very rough alignment on it. Oh, okay. Now I just knocked that. Is that still there? Well, this is a very poor radio for 5 valves. Can't believe it's this bad. Well, it is improving a little bit, but I really suspect it needs a good alignment. Right. Well, that's a little bit better. And we'll try adjusting these trimmers here, the aerial. No. Well, that's about it. And that is not very good. I was expecting much better than that. This is obviously quite a big radio. This is the can of spray, and this is what, 300 mils. Also got the meter here. So we'll try this one while we're waiting for the valves to come in. I know this one works. This is one. While we're waiting for the valves to come in for the Bell, I thought I would actually tackle one of these two big lumps of radio. Now, I have tested them and they do actually work. So they're quite sort of handsome in a way, I'd say. Now, the front on this one needs polishing up. Bring this around for you, if I can get it to stay there. Yep, so this needs polishing up a bit. The controls are quite stiff, but otherwise it seems to work. This one, yeah, it doesn't have the magic eye on this one. The other one has the magic eye up there and the Phillips logo over there. Just a bit different, probably circuit changes. I think this one is a little bit later. Can't remember which one. One was built during the war and the other one was built a few years after the war. Now, let's see, I might have to pause this to move it around. Actually, we'll take the knobs off first. Where's the grub screws? There we go. And this one I'll have to lay the radio down, if I possibly can. This is really heavy. Right, so our four knobs have come off quite easily. The other one doesn't have its original knobs. Okay. So, right. We're not in anything. Ugh. Now I do have one of those little spot vacuum cleaner things, the wet ones, which you're supposed to do the carpets with or something like that. They advertise them as being for pet hair and all that sort of thing, but they're excellent for doing car interiors and radio grills. It's got the valve types on there: EK20, 7UT6, 6B60, 6U7, and a 6V6, and a 80 rectifier valve. I don't think this is the original back. I'll look up the schematic in a little bit. Right. Ugh. That's the one thing I dislike about working on radios, or old radios. The fact that they're pretty filthy to start with. Not very deep, but quite large in other dimensions. It says on the side here, consult service data sheet before removal of chassis or dial drive system from cabinet. So we better do that because this is a bit of a complicated arrangement. Being a Phillips, am I going to regret this? Probably. Should have just sold it straight on, shouldn't I? Put $100 on it, and I don't like doing that. Especially since I've started selling up at the bazaar. It's not like eBay where there's nothing come back on. They're pretty careful with electrical stuff up there, which is how it should be. What else have we got to undo? So that is loose. Now, okay. So we've got to undo 4 screws up in there, and because this is all cable driven. So there's that cable there, and there's another one here, and yeah. So I'll do that off camera, and I'll be back because I'll have to lay this down on the ground, I think, to get to those on the carpet, and yeah, so I'll be back in a second. The electrolytics have been changed and it is working very well. Now the next thing I have to do is, of course, the dial cord. Now there's 2 dial cords in here, the one for the dial plate, the glass, which is working fine. The other one is on a spindle down here, and it goes up onto the main dial wheel, which is attached to the condenser or the tuning coils. So that is going to be quite tricky. I'm going to have to take 3 screws out this side and another 3 down this side and pull the speaker off. Now the speaker looks very well attached to this piece of plywood here. They certainly built things well, and it's all beautifully routed out down here. So I think that's what I'm going to have to do. And while I'm at it, I'm going to change the power cord. This is pretty dodgy. It's very 1960s by the looks of it. The earth pin is absolutely buggered. So yeah, it's ready to come out. Probably isn't connected to earth anymore, if it is in fact connected down here. Now the wiring for that is down in here. So, and it goes across to a switch mechanism here, and yeah, so it's not easy to change the power cord or change the dial cord, but I'm going to have a go at it, I guess, because everything else is working beautifully. There is this being wired into it, so this is probably for a record player or tape recorder or something. So I'm going to use this wire for my Bluetooth adapter, and yeah, we'll turn it into a Bluetooth receiver as well. So it'll be medium wave, which is almost completely dead up here, and Bluetooth. So I hope you heard all of that. So I wasn't facing the microphones.